Wow, this took forever. What kind of YouTuber doesn't thank his friends, viewers, and more for 200 subscribers? A cruddy one, that's who. Lucky for all of us, I ain't cruddy. Thank you. I thought 100 was ridiculous at the time, but I want to thank everyone who has ever clicked on one of my videos for helping me make it this far. I love you all. This milestone special ain't getting scrapped this time. Join me, my phenomenal friends, as I count down my 10 favorite games of all time. Do note this is purely my opinion, and this may change a lot. New games do come out, or maybe I'll play an older gem that I've never experienced. Also, only one game per franchise. Man, enough of this opening. Let's do this thing! Picture this. You're in a computer lab at school and you finished your work. Time to play online games. Oh, you know the ones. The source name comes to you quicker than a flash. One of my all-time favorites was Henry Stickmin. Wait a sec, dude. Don't tell me some Flash game made your list. Don't worry, Santal, it didn't. The Steam game did. Wait, what? So you present me with a remaster of 5 of my favorite Flash games from elementary school and middle school, and a whole new story that changes depending on the ending of the last 2 games. Put all that in one package, and expect me not to put it on the list? Just who do you think I am? This is easily one of the funniest games I've ever played. From Henry's numerous failures or the background people's antics, you're bound to be laughing at a moment's notice. Even in the remasters, you get new animations for some of the fails. I especially love how you can change the story and its many, many endings, ranging from neat, cool, holy crap, this is an anime, or whether it be teaming up with both Ellie and Charles, saving or destroying the Top Hat clan, it's an absolute joy. Though to be honest, I hated getting all the bios for the characters. As charming as the descriptions are, sometimes they disappear way too quickly. Regardless, this is a truly amazing passion project that deserves to be experienced for yourself. Please, go on Steam and get this game. $20 says you'll have a blast. Bet you didn't see this coming.
What? Not Halo or Call of Duty?
Look, I like Halo. A lot. But it doesn't nearly have the amount of charm TF2 has. The playable classes all have really entertaining personalities, quotable as heck lines, and even if I suck at them, they're so much fun to play as. My favorites are Pyro and Scout. I love Scout's speed, double jump, and weapons. I'ma smack you with a frick and a fish! As for Pyro, he's my main. His flamethrower is very reliable and can defend by reflecting projectiles with an air blast. His other weapons are nice too. The shotgun's decent and the fire axe works well as a melee option. But just like Splatoon, the biggest thing about TF2 for me is how much fun I have while playing. But here it's because of playing with friends online. If you're in a Discord call with friends while playing this, you're gonna have a really fun time, guaranteed. I also have a story about the first time I ever played this game. I was hanging out with my cousin while he was playing the game on the orange box when he was called downstairs. I decided to take it upon myself to take over to make sure he wins. I had no idea what he was playing, but it looked pretty fun. I was immediately magnetized to Pyro because flamethrower. I was a kid, okay? I actually didn't do too badly. Good memories. While the toxic tryhards online may be a bit annoying, Team Fortress 2 still stands as my second favorite game I have on Steam. Guh? It's not exactly rare to see amazing games from the 64 make it onto a favorite games list. Banjo Kazooie is one of the absolute best 3D platformers I have ever played. The Nintendo 64's best has everything a gamer could love. Lovable characters like Banjo, Kazooie, Bottles, Grunty, Mumbo, and most of the background characters you meet in the amazing worlds you explore. Speaking of which, the levels are phenomenal. Freeze Easy Peak's charm and holiday aesthetic, Rusty Bucket Bay's respectable difficulty, and Click Clock Wood's season mechanic. Every single world in Banjo Kazooie is overflowing with fun to be had. But surely the game with characters named after musical instruments has a good soundtrack, right? Yes. I can't name a single track in this game I don't love. Final Battle, Treasure Trove Cove, Grunty's Furnace Fun, and even the opening cutscene have some of the greatest tunes I've ever heard from the 64. But as much fun as the original game is, I have to recommend the Xbox re-release over the 64 version, thanks to saving the number of music notes you collect before you die, and faster load times. But regardless whether you play Xbox or 64, Banjo Kazooie is still a gaming masterpiece, and I know I wasn't the only one ecstatic to see them get announced as DLC smashers. You can't really go wrong with any Pokemon game. A lot of people cite the Generation 4 games as the absolute best. As much as I love Heart Gold, Gen 5 has always been my favorite. But when I found out Black and White got a direct sequel, I lost my peckin' mind. I already loved Pokemon Black and White, but Black 2 took everything I loved about the first one and gave me even more. Taking place 2 years after Black and White 1, Team Plasma is split up into two groups, pacifists and the actual villains. Yeah, I guess which ones you fight. Also, Bianca has become Juniper's assistant, which actually made me really happy when I first saw it. As for Charon, he's the first gym leader you fight in the game. He's even in the new main character's hometown. Your new rival, we'll just call him Hugh, is actually really cool. He has a vendetta against Team Plasma because they kidnapped the little sister's Purloin when they were really young. Also, even though they debuted in the original Black and White, I love the Pokemon roster. Sure, people like to trash on stuff like Vanillux, Garbodor, and Watchog, but while I honestly hate Watchog, Garbodor is pretty great in the TCG, and I love Vanillux because ice cream. But Pokemon like Zekrom, Hydreigon, and Crocodile really make the generation shine. Also, you can get a pretty great variety of types at the very beginning, thanks to the first few routes having Mareep, Riolu, and Psyduck. As for the music, well... Need I say more? All this and more is why Black 2 is my favorite Pokemon game. I didn't even mention the fun battles and amazing presentation, and it's the Pokemon game I've beaten the most amount of times along with X and White. Pokemon Black 2, I choose you! If you didn't see this coming, something tells me you haven't watched these videos yet. Trust me, there are more phenomenal things to this game aside from its music. Mario & Luigi Dream Team is the plumber's finest adventure yet. A nice adventure to the Pillow Kingdom turns very nightmarish really quickly with the debut of an amazing villain named Phantasma. But new characters aren't the only ones getting their well-deserved spotlight. Dream Team also expands on Luigi's character. It shows why he puts up with being Mario's sidekick. He doesn't care how he does it, he just wants his brother to be safe. He even grows to the size of a building to protect Mario. I already loved Luigi, but this alone put him over Fawful on my favorite Mario characters list. On a personal note, I remember finding this game's demo in the 3DS eShop and instantly loving it, especially the bosses they had. Speaking of which, the bosses are amazing. Phantasma, Big Massif, the Elite Trio, and Dream Bowser are some of the greatest fights in the series. I also really like the Luigi area attacks this game introduces. Instead of the standard Bros attacks which you get in the real world, Dream World lets you use Luigi and his several copies, known as Luiginoids, to attack your enemies and bosses, my favorite of the bunch being the Luiginary Flame. And finally, and this is something I personally really like, it explores one thing I'm most curious about, dreams. Every section that takes place in Luigi's dreams, it's basically the world's biggest lucid dream. I don't know about you, but I think that's awesome, just like this entire game. Easily my favorite 3DS game. We're finally at my favorite Switch game. Don't act surprised.
Every soul contains a whisper of light, gleaming faintly as it dwindles from sight.
Regardless of what anyone thinks, Smash Bros. Is my favorite fighting game series. Ever since Brawl, I loved how it combined platforming and fighting, but Ultimate is kinda freaking amazing. Look at all these characters. Each one has a different moveset, weight, speed, and all sorts of other quirks. You're bound to find a favorite. This season even all of them since Mr. Sakurai has announced even more DLC. Jeez dude, we love you, but calm down. The combat is as great as ever thanks to better attempts at character balancing, fun attacks, and a phenomenal physics engine. Sure, I could talk about fun items, the great story mode, and the addictive minigames, but the main Smash mode is pretty much all I need. I can't even begin to describe how satisfying some combos and setups are. Getting a spike makes me happier than it really should. Smash is just really fun, but the problem I have is definitely a me problem. Everyone has those characters that they love fighting, but there are other characters that are annoying to fight and others
that I want to throw into a meat grinder.
Sorry about that. Smash has this unique charm of fierce competition and being enjoyable as heck, much like Mario Party. In case you were wondering, my favorites are Toon Link and Pac-Man. If you haven't already, try out the game. Even if you don't like the competitive scene, you're bound to have some fun in the casual mode.
Unite from the distance sings a chorus of souls, rising slowly.
Good day for a swell battle. Now go!
Without a doubt, the hardest game I've ever beaten. Sure, some CD difficult is frustrating, but the thing that Cuphead and Mugman do right with its hard as nails difficulty is that it's hard, but fair. The boss's attacks are either telegraphed, or they move at a speed that helps you learn how and when to dodge. This is why I can't say I hate any boss in this game, except for Dr. Carl's robot. Screw this guy. But the real star of the show is the phenomenal art style. I adore animation, and seeing everything as a hand-drawn 1930s cartoon amazed me. Look at Captain Brennybeard. I honestly thought MDHR got the rights to an actual Popeye character. The story also feels like something from a 1930s cartoon. Two brothers fighting for their souls after making a deal with the devil. Sure, it's a little dark, but the 1930s weren't exactly squeaky clean either. Cuphead's fast-paced gameplay keeps me invested and on my toes. With different weapons and charms comes strategies and satisfaction when everything comes together. But the thing that keeps me coming back is a different satisfaction. Beating that boss that has been giving you trouble for a while has got to be amazing. But with Cuphead, every other boss is that boss. Grim Matchstick, the Phantom Express, and King Dice are my favorite bosses for that exact reason. They may be difficult, but the fun factor in finally defeating them makes it all worth it. I love this game. A lot. Without a doubt, my favorite 2D indie game. Sonic the Hedgehog is easily my favorite video game series, so choosing one game as my favorite was tough. For years it was Heroes, but I've recently found more and more admiration for Sonic Generations. Sonic's 20th anniversary was absolutely, say it with me now, phenomenal. This game combines classic and modern Sonic in one of the best ways possible. They're separate characters with their own stages. Classic Sonic is strictly 2D platforming at its finest, nothing but running, jumping, and spin dashing. But my favorite game style is modern Sonic. His faster pace and other abilities make him more fun for me. But what good are the playable characters when there's no stage? And my gosh! These stages are not only amazing remakes of stages from the Blue Blur's history, not you! They also stand as amazing levels on their own. Rooftop Run Act 2, City Escape Act 1, and all of Chemical Plant stand as Generation's best speedy playgrounds. Finally, if there's one thing I love aside from fun gameplay, it's music. Sonic Generations has one of the best Sonic soundtracks I have ever heard, ranging from good original tunes to the phenomenal remixes. Sonic Generations is just plain fantastic. But do I say it's my favorite 2D Sonic or 3D Sonic? Let me know down below. Choosing between the top two was the toughest choice I've ever made for this channel. For the longest time they were tied for first, but even still, I will never say that I don't love the Wind Waker. Unless you follow me on Twitter, I bet very few of you expected this. Well, it started with Super Smash Bros. For the 3DS. My best character was Toon Link. I loved him so much that I decided to play the games he was from. Minish Cap, which I also really love, and Wind Waker. To this day, Wind Waker remains the only Zelda game I've ever finished. Its art style was the first thing I noticed that I loved. I don't know what it is, but I'm a sucker for cel shading. Also, Wind Waker's soundtrack is phenomenal. This song right here, the song playing right now, made me legitimately cry the first time I heard it. The dungeons are all fun, with my favorites being the Wind Temple and the Tower of the Gods. But Wind Waker does something that no other game has done so consistently. It takes one thing I normally hate in video games and makes it fun. Long periods of nothing happening. Sailing with the King of Red Lions is really fun. Not only is it relaxing, but you can even fish or look for the Triforce. Okay, this game isn't perfect. Some missions are forgettable and looking for the Triforce was atrocious, but I don't even need the HD version to know that the Wind Waker is my favorite Nintendo game of all time. I didn't even mention the fun bosses and lovable characters, but there's one game that I can call my absolute favorite. Like you weren't expecting honorable mentions, let's run through them real quick. Portal, really fun puzzle game with amazing premise. Tetris Attack, my favorite traditional puzzle game. Splatoon 2, really fun online game, consider this the number 11 choice. Mega Man 10, amazing 2D platformer, my favorite Mega Man game. Xenoblade Chronicles, easily my favorite Wii game, amazing story and characters. And finally, Kirby Planet Robobot, phenomenal levels, bosses, music, and copy abilities. I honestly don't know how to thank all of you. I could start gushing, singing, dancing, but nothing could do you wonderful people justice. So I felt the best way to cap off this video is with another pun. Come on, Alex. I love this game so very much. It all started with a night where I couldn't sleep. I decided to browse YouTube until I got tired. But when I was looking at the Quarter Guys channel, I saw a Let's Play for a game I've never heard of. I watched it the next day and I fell in love. So when I got a gift card for my PlayStation, it was the first game I bought. In case you were wondering, the other was Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. It only took a few levels to cement this game's spot as one of my favorites. Sure, some might say it's too by the books, but I have to disagree. Hatkid has a surprising amount of movement options. Diving, wall running, and even a homing attack. Is Hatkid secretly Sonic? You can also equip different hats and badges to enhance your abilities like going faster, having a hook shot, or even a giant laser! The worlds Hatkid explores are all beautiful. Mafia Town's simplicity and lovable NPCs, Battle of the Birds' amazing characters and scenarios, everything in the Subcon Forest, the openness of the Alpine skyline, the adorable NPCs and story of the Arctic Cruise, and the aesthetic of Nyakuza Metro. But my favorite areas in the game are the time rifts. They're linear areas of pure platforming and on occasion have a gimmick from the levels you found them in. But above all else, I love the charm a Hat in Time has. Hatkid is adorable and hilarious. The background characters are all really likable. I legit cannot think of a single character this entire game I do not like. I love A Hat in Time so much. I don't think I can stress this enough. This is Sonic Septile Warrior. Thank all of you so much for 200 subscribers. Also, check out CGS001 and Fawful's Minion. They are some of my biggest inspirations for making these videos. They both do countdowns. CJ does Let's Plays and reviews. Fawful does reviews too, and he also has this cool series called Blessed or Messed. Thought this was the end? Think again. Special thanks to the following. Askare for inspiring me to branch into cartoon videos. Classic VeggieTales fan for being there since the very beginning. CCA Productions for technically being the first channel I ever cameoed on. Anthony M and Bulbalite for their help and advice with my artwork. The Chaotic Crusaders, all 13 of them for simply being good friends of mine. Avatar Discord, good pal that's always been fun to work with, and my followers on Twitter. And most of all of you for watching. Thanks for all the support, guys. See you in the next video. Goodbye!